right into our workout, warming up the muscles in the chest and back. So this is going to be a dumbbell plus resistance band workout, doing full body. If that sounds good to you, hit that like button for me. Lets me know you want more of this type of content, and it helps support the channel. So thank you for that. I'm gonna be using a bench today. If you don't have a bench, you could do this laying on your back. So, first thing I'm gonna do is a warm up though. So I'm gonna grab a dumbbell, and what I like to do is warm up with a slightly lighter dumbbell before I go to a heavier dumbbell. So we're priming the muscles, getting them ready to work, so we reduce the risk of injury. So the first thing I'm gonna do is a wall supported row. This is working the back, the lats, and some of the bicep as well. So I'm gonna put my hand against a wall or a post and let this arm fully hang to the ground. This gets that extra bit of flexion in the arm to do one arm at a time. I'm supporting up here, so I'm not putting all that pressure on my low back. From here, I'm gonna pull up to my rib cage and then all the way back, letting my arm fully hang. That's the important thing, is going into that full flexion again. So we're working that extension muscle by fully going into flexion, which is towards the front before we pull back. That biomechanically puts more tension on that muscle and is gonna be more muscle building. I'm doing about 10 reps each side to warm up. This shouldn't be tiring yet, it's just getting blood flow into the muscle. So pick a weight that's gonna be not super fatiguing, we're just getting warmed up. I just have my hand wherever it's comfortable. Might need to be a little lower, that's fine, just as long as you're supporting your upper body with it. Try and keep my back flat. So that's gonna be our warm up for our back. I'm gonna grab a second dumbbell and we're gonna work the upper chest. Now, we're gonna be doing an incline press that works the upper chest a bit better. If you need to, you can always do a flat press, just laying on your back if you don't have a bench. Slide this back just a little bit. So for warming up the chest, what I like to do, I'm grabbing 30-pound dumbbells. When I do full weight, it's gonna be 40 pounds. So that's about 75%. I'm gonna go wide out to my shoulders, chest out. Try to point my chest up at the ceiling, pushing up towards the front, keeping my hands wide. And that keeps that leverage on the chest the whole time. So I'm not letting the dumbbells come in. I'm keeping my hands wide because that keeps that leverage on that chest muscle. Even though this is a warm up, I'm trying to work on my technique because that's gonna give me a more effective exercise to have proper technique. And relax. So I like to do one warm-up set and then go straight into working out at my full weight. If you need to take a little bit more time warming up, that's okay. I just realized I actually did 35 on one side. That's no good. They had the half plates on that. 1 second. There we go. So with those two exercises, we cover a majority of the back and chest. So those are compound exercises that are working a lot of muscles all at once. So if you're looking for a very efficient exercise or efficient workout, those are two great options for upper body. Now for me, I'm trying to specialize more into my arms. So I'm gonna spend a lot more of my time doing isolation movements for the bicep today. So, because I want to grow this more, I'm doing a couple sets to maintain the muscles in my chest and back, and then really spending a lot of my time doing supported rows. So wall supported rows, one hand here, hinging from the hips so you're not bending your back, letting the arm fully hang, pulling up to the back. This is working all those small muscles around your shoulder blade, as well as your back, your lats, and your bicep. We're actually even working some of the back of the shoulder as well, and that posterior deltoid. I'm trying to go all the way to a full hang, letting it fully hang back down towards the ground to let that muscle have high tension at its most. And that's the most beneficial thing for growing muscle. And switch sides. Doing about 10 reps each side. Now, if you can do a little bit more, a little bit less, that's okay. But I like to shoot for around 10 reps, where it's not high reps, where it takes a lot of time. But sometimes if we go too low in reps, it can put a lot of stress on your joints. And you don't necessarily even build muscle faster doing that. It's all about just trying to challenge the muscle. So as long as you're going heavy enough that you're challenging the muscle at 10 reps, you're just fine. So whether you're doing high reps or low reps, both are totally fine, will build muscle, but you want to find a weight that's challenging either way. As long as you feel that fatigue in the muscle, you know it's going to build muscle. And going back into incline press. Now after this, we're going to focus in on isolating the arm muscles. So if you want big arms or toned arms, both of those we work out the same way. The only difference between big arms and toned arms is how long you've been doing it. So if you're worried about bulking up too much, don't worry. It's very easy to just get to where you want to be and then slow down to make sure to maintain that muscle mass. So you don't overbulk. It's very hard to overbulk actually. All right, going to incline press. Gonna kick up, and then from here, wide hands pushing out towards the front. I should feel that tension in my chest. So I'm pushing my chest out, going all the way down, tapping the outside of my shoulder, and then back up. Doing with proper technique, you can actually have a lot of tension in your chest without having to go really heavy. It's better to have good technique with lighter weights than bad technique with heavy weights. And the risk of injury goes way up if you have bad technique with heavy weights. So it's all about feeling that tension in the muscle. And relax. If you think about it, you wouldn't do that with a house. Let's say you're building a house. Do you want a really heavy house with bad nails? Or do you want really strong nails with a light house? Lighthouse? That's not what I meant. With a house that is not heavy. So, if you have bad nails, the house falls apart if it's heavy. Same thing with weightlifting. You want good technique, the thing that's holding it all together is technique. So good technique, build that up with light, then you can go as heavy as you're able to later, but start with that good technique. All right, we're gonna do one more set of back and chest. Give me a moment. All right, and then we're gonna go on to arms. If you like this sort of workout and want to be here live, I host them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you are looking for help or looking for a community or someone to just be encouraging, I'm here to help. I want to help people live healthy lives for the rest of their lives, to build muscle, to be able to move and work, play, have fun doing, just being able to move. So I think that starts though with resistance training, to build up that muscle, to keep that bone muscle healthy. So the way we do that is by challenging. This is too light, hang on. Without thinking about it, I put it down to 30 pounds, and that's not right. We're doing 40 because we're wanting to challenge the muscle. Going to a full hang, supporting, and then pulling up to the back and working those lats, especially by fully hanging to the ground into that flexion position. Because the lats are an extender of the shoulder. It's the biomechanics of them. So if I go into more flexion, I can really tension those lats. How many was that? Trying to go for about 10. And same thing on the other side. Now, something I want to do more is look up just a little bit to help keep my back straight, and then pulling up to the back. And relax. So this type of workout is called a superset, where I'm going from one muscle to the next. Well, one side is working, the other side is resting. So while my chest is resting, I'm working my back, and vice versa. So you can get through a workout much faster in the same amount of time. So one more set of chest. I kick my knees up to help push the weights up. And then from here, wide chest, pushing out towards the front. 1, 2, trying to hit 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, try and go deep down towards the chest. 8, 9, and 10. That depth on this exercise really takes it to the next level, where you go deep down into that movement. A lot of people do half reps on this in the upper half because they feel strong with it, but they're cheating themselves out of all that muscle building of the most important part of that high tension movement. So if you're looking to build muscle fast, that lower part of that movement really is where you're going to experience those high tensions and that big muscle building stimulus to that muscle, to send signals to that muscle to grow. So that's why we don't want to cheat out of that bottom half of that movement. So that was our chest and back. We did 2 sets for that. Now we're gonna move to working the arms. So we're gonna focus on that tricep. Now, for this, we're gonna do a resistance band. I'm gonna take just a moment between to let my triceps relax after doing chest. So, for the tricep, it's been studied and they found that bringing the elbow up higher than the shoulder engages more of that large piece of the tricep called the long head. So that's why we're going to do a skull crusher, because it's been found to be biomechanically more effective to grow the triceps. I don't remember the exact number, but it was something around double the growth to do a over the head movement rather than something like a tricep kickback, where you're doing this movement. That's effective for the lower parts of the tricep, but you don't see the large growth of the tricep from that. Though I will say, if you have problems with your shoulder, that is an option where, I'll show you over here. So you would wrap the band around and then pull down and back like this. It's called a tricep kickback. I have just a little bit of a lean forward, one foot out in front of the other. And that will help if you have shoulder problems. However, if you don't, if this is comfortable for your shoulder, join me on this one. This is called the skull crusher. I'm gonna have my hands up by my ears. My elbows are in, pointed towards the front. And I'm going to, so from here, I should feel that tension pulling me back. So you can have one foot out in front, let that really pull you back, pushing out, and then all the way back, keeping those elbows high. Now you could also do these with cables. I find the resistance bands are a lot less expensive though. If you want a set of resistance bands like what I have, there's a link down below that helps support the channel if you would like to buy a set. But if you have resistance bands of your own that are working well for you, that's totally great too. Just if you want the ones I have, these are the ones that I found don't break very easily. They last a long time. And they're a good quality for the money. Whew. So what I like to do for triceps is take just a minute between, let the muscle cool down, because if I try and do triceps and biceps, I don't get as good of a workout. Even though supersets are usually pretty good, for bicep and tricep, I find that they get in the way of one another a little bit to do that. I know some people recommend, because as you work a muscle, it fills up with blood. And so as this fills up with blood, as we try and work it, it can bump into that cushion of blood, if that makes sense, in the muscle. So as we're trying to do this movement, the bicep being bigger can get in the way. So sometimes that can be a good way of not limiting yourself by doing the triceps alone and then the biceps alone. Depends on how big your arms are and how your joints are set up. But for me, I'm gonna try. I found that it's just easier to separate them out. Heard that recommendation from someone and tried it out, liked how it worked for me. So if that works well for you, let me know in the comments. So starting with your hands by your ears, elbows tucked in. So I'll show you from a little more at the front. Then we're gonna press out towards the front, really engaging that tricep. So I'm trying to stay straight and tall, pushing out like I'm hammering. Imagine like you're hammering a nail. You could have it either like this or like this for your hands. I find it a little bit more comfortable to do thumbs pointed in. Some people like to do, sort of grab onto the fabric handles and pull forward. That's totally fine, but and 10. All right, so we're gonna go back to dumbbells for doing the bicep. We're getting pretty close to the end. We just have biceps and legs to do. So for biceps, I've really been enjoying a preacher curl. So I do a much lighter dumbbell on this one. This is a 15-pound dumbbell. My biceps are already warmed up from the rows, so I just go straight into it. Now I'm gonna do this on the back of a bench. You could do this on the back of a chair. Let me move that just a little bit. I think. We're gonna do this. So, you're gonna put your elbow on the top of a bench or chair. Now, this is gonna really engage that bicep in a tension position. So I'm gonna drop my hand down to try and tap the back of the chair and then come back up. So I'm trying to really fully extend that elbow down to put high tension through that bicep. We're working especially that brachialis muscle, that it's a deep muscle underneath the bicep. So it really helps push that up. If you're looking for thicker, more toned arms, it's a great exercise to do. I'm gonna drop this down just a notch. I'll do the first set first, then drop it down for the next set. So the lower the chair is, the better. Now I'm not trying to lean forward into this, I'm trying to stay straight and tall. Going all the way down to tapping the bench. And I'm trying to tap with both sides. I'm gonna drop this down just one notch. The lower down this is, the harder it's gonna be. So elbow right in the middle. And on this, you don't want to twist or this way. You want to go down straight, tap both sides and back up. You should really feel that tension in the bicep as you're doing it. If you tap here, it should feel that muscle taut underneath your skin. And same thing on the other side. Feel that muscle contract underneath your skin. Now something on this one, if you're leaned forward, it will reduce that movement. Try and do it not leaning forward. Try and lean back a little bit away. And switching back to the other side, we're gonna burn out with this one for your arms. So try and do as many as you can, as many sets of 10 as you can. This is set number 3. Going until you feel fatigue in that arm. So we're doing what's called high volume, where we're doing a lot of sets of this one exercise. We want to make sure we're doing good technique, good quality on reps, but there's no substitute for quantity on this either. Even good quality is not gonna be enough. We have to do high quantity as well. If you think about it, if you had a lemonade stand and you made the perfect glass of lemonade, just the right amount of sugar, just the right amount of lemon, but you only ever sold 1 cup of lemonade, you're not gonna make a profit on that, of all the setup time and all of your time it takes to do that. Same thing with working out. You're not going to just do 1 set perfectly and then you're done. You're gonna try and sell as many cups of lemonade as you can. Same thing with this. You're gonna try and do as many sets as you can, because that's what's gonna make you more profitable faster. Now same thing with the lemonade stand. You want a good cup of lemonade. Same thing with the workout. You want to have good technique. You want to be doing it right, but you also want to work quantity so you make muscle. You build that muscle up. There's no substitute for that. No, some people disagree with me on that, but the science is very clear. You will build more muscle faster if you increase your volume. I used to think the same thing, of just 1 really good set would be enough, and it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you want to build muscle faster, there's a faster way to do it, and that's by increasing your volume of working out. How often and how many sets you're doing. As long as you're not losing out on things like rest, nutrition, all these things that make a good workout, if you're not sacrificing those, you still have a good product, and then you're just scaling it up to do more of it. And that's what's going to cause you to grow muscle faster. So, I'm gonna get a quick sip of water. And we're gonna finish up doing legs. So today I'm saving legs till the end because I find legs are really burn me out. So we're gonna try to do a weighted split squat. If you don't want to do the weights, you don't have to, just do the split squats. So for this, you're going to need a chair or a bench. Any normal chair will be just fine. So you could use the same chair that we're doing with preacher curls. And I'm gonna grab, ow. Sorry if that was loud. I'm gonna grab a light dumbbell. So from here, seated on the bench or chair, you're gonna put 1 leg out into the front. This is our working leg. We're working the quads, the hamstrings, a little bit of the adductors and the glutes as well with this. So, working those thigh muscles. From here, I'm going to step forward. Now, I'm gonna do the dumbbell in my opposite hand because I think that's gonna work better for this one. I'm gonna put my other foot up on the bench. So this is just hanging here. I'm not lifting up with the dumbbell. It's just adding a little bit of weight to this exercise. From here, I'm gonna bend down, tap my knee to the ground, come back up. I'm really trying to bend this knee. So I'm gonna do 10 of these each side. So we're working those thigh muscles in the front leg. and 10. And same thing on the other side. One leg out to the front. I'm gonna switch the dumbbell to the other hand. Take a quick second. These always take the most out of me. How about you guys? Does anyone here avoid legs because it's difficult? I totally understand that. I don't like it either. But your leg muscles are so important for your lifelong health. They help push blood back up to your heart. They keep your balance. They help you to move and walk, run, jump, climb. All that is in your legs. And we don't want to lose that because as we age, all of us, after 30, you lose about 1% of your muscle per year, roughly. So we don't want to lose that. We want to do everything we can to maintain that leg strength, especially. So we're going to do this to keep that leg strength as long as we can. I'm trying to bend my knee in the same direction as my hip, or as my foot rather. Two more. And as you're doing this, you're actually getting a good hip stretch on your back leg. So if you have tight hips, we're actually stretching the hip as we go down as well. So go as low as you can while you still feel stable coming back up. I take a minute between my legs because it really takes a lot out of my heart. It causes my heart to beat pretty quickly. Now something I did a little while back, about a month or two ago, is I used to be starting with legs because I wanted to get it out of the way. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I found that my body was not really warmed up effectively for that. And so I would not get the same sort of leg workout where it would feel stiff and just not really pliable in the muscle. Muscle felt just stiff and cold, and I wasn't getting as effective of a workout. So I'm now trying to put those at the end of the workout, even though it's one of the more difficult exercises, because I think I'm a little more warmed up and the muscle has a better feel in how I'm working. I can feel that muscle actually fill with blood and work. So, but you can play around with it, find the thing that works for you. For some people, it works just fine to put it at the beginning to get it out of the way. There's no one right answer to this. There's a lot of good answers to the same question for working out in things like exercise order. There's a couple things that are more universal, but even something like how many reps should I do or how many sets should I do, there's some variation person to person. In general, more volume is better up to a point, as long as you are maintaining good quality in your workouts. You're doing the proper technique, you're not injuring yourself, you're feeling the muscle contract, that mind-muscle connection. You're feeling the muscle work and be under tension. Those are all indicators that those are effective, high-quality reps, that you are doing it correctly with good technique. Okay, one more leg. So one foot out to the front. I'm using the rack just a little bit for balance on my left side. And from here, dropping down to the ground, trying for 10 reps each side. If you do one exercise, this is a great one because it strengthens some of the most important muscles in your body. And same thing on the other side. I just need 1 second between. Not breathing heavy actually, just my heart is actually beating pretty fast. So wear a heart rate monitor to see my heart. If it's above 140, I try and let it drop down to more around 130, because I don't want my heart rate to be my limiting factor. I want the muscles to be the limiting factor on this. Now, if you're looking for a cardio exercise, totally fine to keep going. Push yourself into it. I'm going a little bit slower on it. Back when I trained martial arts, we did a lot of cardio, a lot of squats and things in a more cardio way, which is good, but I found that it was more strengthening my heart, but my muscle size wasn't increasing as much. I wasn't building as much muscle because what was being stressed was the cardiovascular system, the heart, the vessels, the lungs. So we did a lot of flexibility and a lot of cardio, but not as much resistance training. And so now, I'm trying to focus a little bit more into that resistance training side of things to build up that muscle, to give myself as much muscle as possible. So the more you have, as we lose muscle, which we all lose muscle some, but the more you have, the more it doesn't affect you as you age as much, because you have enough muscle to spare. So sarcopenia is the loss of muscle. A lot of people know about osteoporosis or osteopenia. Not as many people know about sarcopenia. So as we build up the muscle, as we slowly lose some by age, instead of losing so much that we can't do what we want to, like walk or run. We all know those people who are up in age where they struggle maybe to walk. But if we work out, if we keep exercising the muscle, we want to be strong and healthy all the way through life. So it doesn't have to be that you lose the ability to walk or lose the ability to move the way you want to. Just takes work to maintain it. So if you're looking for a community of people around you to help encourage you and support you, working out, getting stronger, building muscle, healthy muscle and bone, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I hope to see you guys there.